What's up, everybody, and welcome to my first ever episode of the Wednesday Paper. I'm Mike Skinner, and this is my channel. I hope you guys enjoy this. This is my first ever video posting to this channel, and honestly, it's something that I've been wanting to do for a very long time. Quick side note, this is actually my third time recording this. I was actually supposed to record this segment this morning and then go to work and then at night edit it, and I went to edit it after work and realized that all the footage didn't save. So it's my own fault. I decided to update to the new iOS beta and it didn't like me. So I am re-recording this now and I hope this works. If it doesn't, then we just might not get a video this week, but I'm hoping that it does go through. If you're seeing this, everything went all right, and thank you guys for being here. I'm super inspired by a lot of you comic creators out there on YouTube making content, and I've seen so many videos. So if you're making content on YouTube, chances are I've seen your video. So shout out to you guys. You guys really inspire me to do this. I figured, you know what, let me just go ahead and talk about what my pull list looks like every week. It's something that I get asked by some friends of mine that collect comics, and I figured it'd be a cool segment to kind of compare and contrast to other people's pull lists, because everybody's different, you know? So maybe you'll see some books on my list that are not on everybody else's list. I'm not saying my list is better than anybody else's by any means. Everybody collects different things. So I'm not saying this is the must-haves of the week or anything like that, but this is definitely books that I'm enjoying or collecting, and I think you should take a look at. So without further ado, welcome to the first ever inaugural The Wednesday Paper. First up this week, we have AXE Judgment Day, and this is this new big event book going on for Marvel. And honestly, I'm not reading Avengers, X-Men, or Eternals, so I have no idea what's going on here. I used to be a big X-Men fan, but truthfully, I took a few years off of reading and I came back and they're on Mars. So I need to catch up and see what's going on there. But I am excited for this book just because usually they do a pretty good job of filling you in on what's going on. And usually after these big events, there's some kind of new status quo. So I am looking forward to seeing what that brings. There are tons of tie-ins and things like that for this series. So I do need to look up a reading order and see what's supposed to be read where. But I am picking up this A cover, and I'm also picking up this Gleason B cover. Gleason is one of my favorite cover artists and he's been killing it. So for that reason, I'm getting A and B on this one. And yeah, I'll be putting those on my pull list. Next up for Marvel, we have Miles Morales, number 40. This has been a series that I want to catch up on. I'm not quite caught up yet. I've been reading so many different books, and this is one that I know I'm going to enjoy. So I've been picking them up every week just because I don't want to have to chase down back issues later, because I know I'm enjoying the series. I went with the A cover just because it's solid. I always go with A cover if I can. But this B cover also for Predator is really clean. Usually I don't like when they take like other big multimedia franchises and toss them into the cover, but these Predator covers have been really cool, much cooler than the Alien covers that came before it. I think this is a really cool use of the fact that Miles and the Predator can go invisible, and yeah, those are going to be on my pull list. Next up for Marvel is Shang-Chi and the 10 Rings. This is issue number 1. I was going to get cover A, to be honest, but I ended up just getting Art Germ's cover just to save a little money this week. I'm a huge Art Germ fan. I don't think this is his best cover. I think it's very nice, but he usually puts out some insanity on the covers. So I got this just because I do collect Art Germ covers, but I do hope that this series is good. I don't know anything about Shang-Chi other than the movie, to be honest. I haven't been reading Shang-Chi, so hopefully this is a cool jumping on point, and I hope to read it and enjoy it. Now, sticking with Marvel, but switching over to the Star Wars side, we have 3 different books that I'm getting this week, but only for the same reason. They all are the 3 Sprouse variant covers. We have Star Wars number 25, we have Darth Vader number 25, and we have Han Solo and Chewbacca number 4. All 3 of these covers are bringing that new Sprouse Choose Your Destiny variant, and I'm loving these covers. I am not reading all the Star Wars franchises. I know I seem like a fake comic fan right now because I've been saying I'm not reading this and I'm not reading that. There's a lot of stuff I'm reading, I promise. Mostly indies, to be honest. But these covers have been really cool. I think this is going to be a really cool collector's item in the future. So if you're picking up these covers now, they might be harder to find later once people realize, oh man, this is a really cool set. I do want to collect them all. They'll be probably going back to look for the original ones. I know the Grievous was one of the first ones, and Kylo did really well recently because obviously Kylo Ren is a very big character. We also just got a new Reva one that was shown recently. I know that one's going to be hot. So if you're not looking at these covers, you should be, even if it's just for possible resale value in the future. I'm waiting for Mace Windu and Yoda and all these characters to get one, so it's definitely a cool collection to have, and for that reason, they're all on my pull list this week. And I'm also grabbing this 1 in 25 from Star Wars number 25. Nobody's really talking about this cover, but this cover is very cool. I love all the different characters it has on it. I think it's a really cool book for maybe signatures, you know, getting all the different voice actors or the actors or whatever it may be. I think that's a cool idea. And also just because it has all different ages and eras of Star Wars on one page. You know, we have characters from the new age, we have characters from the originals, they're all on this book. So I think this is a really cool cover to have, and I picked it up. And that's actually it for Marvel for me this week. I don't have a big pull list for Marvel this week. This is a little bit of a lighter week for me. Thankfully, my bank needs it. But next up we have DC, which we are starting with Batman the Knight number 7. Now this series has been a really fun read. Chip Zdarsky, I just love everything he makes, to be honest. He's a really great writer. I've really enjoyed his work. And I know he just took over on Batman, which I also really enjoyed. However, I was kind of hoping that this would tie into that somehow, you know, and it was never said that it would, but just because it's the same writer, I was hoping that this might be an origin story for Batman the Knight, you know, Batman the Knight leading into the new Batman. It doesn't seem to be. However, I'm still really enjoying it. Every issue seems to be a story about a different talent that Batman uses in his career and how he acquires that talent, and I think it's been really fun. It's also not a lot of issues. I think it's coming to a close soon, so if you haven't been reading Batman the Knight, definitely check it out. It's got some cool stuff in it, and I am picking up the A cover this week. Next up for DC, we have Black Adam number 2. I really enjoyed number 1, and I gotta admit, I am not a Black Adam like historical fan. I don't know a lot about Black Adam. I didn't read Black Adam books back in the day, so I did hear some people saying that maybe things were a little weird in this new take, that it's not like the original, which could very well be. I don't know anything about the originals, to be quite honest, but I really did enjoy this first issue. I don't know how I feel about this new Black Adam character yet, this kid. He seems to be, you know, very meta, very woke. You know, he's saying things like sheesh and probably plays Fortnite and all that stuff. Not that there's anything wrong with playing Fortnite, because I also play Fortnite, but I'm just saying he seems like that kind of character. You know, he's trying to appeal to that crowd, and I don't know how that's going to be. I don't know how I feel about it yet, but I have hope. And for that reason, I am picking up cover A, which I love. I think this neon yellow background is really, really nice. And also this cover with Bolt on it. His name is Bolt, and this is him in costume. First appearance of him on the cover. So I put a few of these on my pull list just to put away. You never know. Maybe down the road something happens with this character. But overall, I am just hoping that it's a good read, because it is my first time reading Black Adam. I know there's a lot of cool Black Adam stuff coming out now with the movie. So I'm interested in getting into this universe and learning more about the character. And for that reason, it is on my pull list this week. Next up, we have Catwoman 45. Catwoman has been on fire with covers. Jenny Frison has been killing it on these covers. Jeff DeCall has been destroying it on these covers. So for that reason, I got them both. I got a Jenny Frison cover, and I got the cover A from DeCall. I really, really like sidekick characters. I know it's a weird thing, but I'm a huge Nightwing fan. I know people are going to get mad that I'm calling him a sidekick, but I meant when he was Robin, he was a sidekick. And I like Robin in general. I like all those kind of characters. I'm not really big on the Batman, Superman. I like, you know, the smaller characters. But anyways, I'm mainly picking up this cover A just because I really like this Napoleon Dynamite looking Robin on the front. I think this art style is really cool. This like long neck, they look kind of like weird proportion. I really think it's cool. I really enjoy this style. And the Frison, I know she gets some slack about being, you know, too samey on some of her covers, but this one is really nice. I'm enjoying the neon background. And Catwoman is just such a cool character to draw, and Jenny Frison has nailed it every time. So for that reason, both these covers are on my pull list this week. Up next, we have Nightwing number 94, and this is my boy Dick Grayson. I am a huge Nightwing fan, as I mentioned before, and this book has just been outstanding. I've really enjoyed every issue. I like the team ups, even like the random stuff, you know, with Superman's son and you know, Flash showing up. Even that stuff was fun, even though it was sidetracked. But I really love what Tom Taylor's doing here. This new villain that he's introduced, Heartless, I want to know more about him. I think he's a really cool villain with a lot of potential. And just overall, the characters that he's creating, all these new characters he's putting into Nightwing's life, I think that they're very cool. And I'm picking up cover A just because, like I said, I love these vibrant background colors. And cover A is always a safe bet. And I'm also going with this, this Nightwing Shag and Batgirl cover because, who doesn't love Nightwing Shag and Batgirl? Which actually, now that I mentioned that, I know there's a whole community on Twitter that does not like Nightwing Shag and Batgirl. I unfortunately came across this very angry community that really wants him to be with Starfire. But guys, this character's not real. Okay, I respect who you want him to be with, but let the writer do their thing. Maybe another writer will come along next and he'll be with Starfire. So don't be. I see them attacking people online. Don't do that. Come on, man. Comics are supposed to be a place to get away from all of that. And I hope we can just enjoy this for what it is. And so far, I really have been. All right, so now let's jump into my favorite part of the list every week. It's the indie side. And we're starting with Grimm number 3, guys. I am getting every cover for Grimm number 3. And I may be biased. I am very heavily invested. I won't say very heavily because there are some people that really go crazy. But I am more than usually invested into Grimm number 1 and 2 because I really have faith in this series. I like the theme. I like just the characters. I love the art. Stephanie Phillips is writing it amazingly. So I'm really interested to see where it goes. And it seems to be getting a lot of really positive attention, which is great. So I'm very happy for her and her team. And I'm really happy for this book because I really do want it to do well for my pockets and for the life of the book. I think that it's a great story. And for that reason, I'm picking up all the covers. My store even hooks me up with the one per store. So I'm super excited about that. And that's not the only Grimm book coming out this week. We have Grimm number 1, 4th printing, guys. This book might go to 10 printings, and I might buy every single printing. I don't know, maybe 20 printings. But I am picking up a few of these 4th printings. If you have not been able to get the first 3 printings, I would just grab one because you never know. A lot of people have been comparing this to Something is Killing the Children, which, as you know, is a huge series. And although I don't think this is exactly what that is, I do think that it's close and it could be. So you never know. Let's just spend a few, like $4 or $5, put one in your box, and you never know what that could turn into. So I would definitely keep this on your radar. Another book by Stephanie Phillips this week is Silver Coin number 12. Now, this is a horror anthology that's been really, really cool. And if you haven't heard of Silver Coin, I'll give you a quick elevator pitch. Essentially, it's the same artist for every issue, but it's a different writer. So every story has the same art style, but a different theme and a different feel. And the cool thing is that they all seem to be connected by this silver coin that when it's in your possession, you seem to just do evil things, and the deepest, darkest parts of you come out. And it's been really, really cool so far to see what all the different writers have done with it. And up next, we do have Stephanie Phillips, who writes Grimm, and this will be her issue. So I'm excited to see what she does with it. The cover A is just so nice. There's a cover B as well, but I went ahead and grabbed cover A, and I'm hoping that I enjoy this as much as I've enjoyed the rest of the Silver Coin franchise. Speaking of horror anthologies, we also have Ice Cream Man number 31. This is another one that's not as gruesome, but still equally as crazy as Silver Coin is. This one is another horror anthology that follows this evil, creepy ice cream man that weird things happen when he's around. So if you haven't been reading Ice Cream Man, I highly recommend it. I'm actually grabbing the B cover on this one instead of the A cover just because, I really do like this B cover. I like this melted ice cream head face thing. I think it's really cool and creepy. And the A cover was cool, but, I just prefer the B cover on this one. So that's the one that's going to end up on my list this week. Up next, we have Bloodstained Teeth number 4. And this is a vampire book that's not like any other vampire book. I know that sounds pretty cliche and people always try to be different, but it really isn't. When you think vampires, you think black, white, you think red, you think gothic, you think dark, you think, coffins. But this is like neon, Miami Vice City life vampires. It's totally different. And the story is actually really, really cool. So it's about a vampire who's using his powers for something that he probably shouldn't be, and he's turning people for money and giving them immortality. And the vampire community is not very fond of this, so they pretty much tell him that if he does not go and kill every single person that he has turned, that they will kill him. So the story follows him. Every issue is him fighting a different person that he's turned, and they're always quirky and different. He fought an MMA fighter one time, and that was fun. So he's always going after these different people. So I think this is a really cool series, and it has opportunity to be a series on TV one day. I could definitely see somebody picking this kind of story up. So for that reason, I am picking up cover A, and yeah, I really think you guys should be reading this. Next up, Do a Powerbomb number 2. This is Daniel Warren Johnson, who is, he needs no introduction. I mean, this book is just outstanding. I'm a long time WWF, WWE Attitude Era, Hulk Hogan, the NWO, you know, D-Generation X, all that stuff. I grew up with that. So this is not quite that, but I definitely get that fulfillment from reading this because I loved wrestling when I was growing up. This is more of like a luchador kind of style story, which is really cool, but it has a twist. So I don't want to spoil too much because it's only been one issue, but definitely go read it. But things transpire and a character in the story ends up in the underworld competing in a tournament to bring somebody back to life. And I think that idea alone is so cool. There's going to be so many cool matches and fights, I'm sure. And the art is just so fantastic. I'm going to go ahead and just put it on the screen. There's like this crazy shot in the first issue where they're jumping into the crowd and doing backflips from the top rope. And this is just a lot of fun. If you're not reading Do a Powerbomb, definitely grab an issue of it because it is fantastic. And it's been one of my favorite reads. And last but not least, closing out my list this week, it's not too long of a pull list this week, is Alice Ever After number 4. I'm grabbing the A and the B cover. This is another series actually that I've really been enjoying. It's a totally different take on Alice in Wonderland. It's more adult themed, you know, she takes drugs and the drugs take her to Wonderland, you know, but the book is very well done. Whenever she's in Wonderland, the art style changes, which I think is a really cool touch. She's in this psychiatric hospital and a lot of the patients and doctors and things are characters from that world, and something weird is going on behind the scenes. So it's got a little more to it. I think it's fun. I'm interested to see where it goes. I know it's a short limited series. I'm not sure if it's ending on 5 or 6, but I know it's limited, so it should be over soon, and I'm really excited to see how it wraps up. And yeah, it'll be on my pull list this week. So guys, that's it. We made it through the first ever honorary episode of my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. I really hope there was a book on my list that you enjoy. Like I said, I am trying to have a little bit of a lighter week this week. I definitely can't afford them all. Some honorary mentions like World's Finest, I'm probably gonna end up grabbing that one as well. I didn't put it on my pull list for whatever reason, but World's Finest has been fantastic, and Dan Mora, honestly one of my favorite artists in the game right now. So there's a bunch of other books coming out tomorrow, but let me know what you're picking up this week, guys, in the comments below. Thank you so much again for hanging out with me. If you'd like to follow me on social media where I talk about other stuff like my FOC list or just books that I'm reading, looking at, you can follow me on Twitter, you can follow me on Instagram, you can follow me on TikTok. All that will be down below, but I am planning on making a lot more content on YouTube. This is going to be my main hub for content. So if you like this, please hit that subscribe and that like button down below, guys. It really helps. And this is a brand new channel, so if you're going to come along on this ride with me, I'd really appreciate it. And I'd love to collab with some of you guys one day. So if you make comic content, reach out to me, man. I would love to collab and just be part of the community and give my input. So thank you guys again so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next week's video, and enjoy your reading. Peace.